Hello, and welcome to Beyond the Plate with Carol, where we will explore food and a little beyond. So come along with me on this journey and see what we uncover. Welcome to Beyond the Plate with Carol at the studio at the Beacon, 814 Elm Street. We are brought to you by the Red Arrow Diners, Manchester, Londonderry, Concord, and Nashua. All of them open 24/7. If you haven't been, go and check them out and make sure you have a diner day. And I am here today. I'm very excited to be talking with Nick Carnes of Shoppers Pub and Eatery. And we're going to talk about other things that he has up his sleeve as well. So let me welcome Nick on. Hi, Nick.
Thank you. Glad to be here, Carol. Thank you.
Yeah, first time we meet. I heard about you through, of course, our friend Michelle, our mutual friend Michelle. Who she was talking to me about the Downtown Manchester Collaborative. I've kind of been in and out of the diners as of late. I have another business. I own a sewing store. I'm not sure if you know that.
No, I didn't know that.
So
just to me.
Yeah. So I usually have Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays off over there. So I'm usually here at the office for that. And of course, I needed something else to do, so I started this podcast. My husband and I love food. We're like big foodies. So I'm like, do a podcast all about food. So, here we are. So let's just dig right in. You're going to be doing most of the talking. I'm just going to ask you some questions, but
that's fine. That's okay.
So what brings you to Manchester? What is your capacity at Shoppers?
Okay. So I'll start with the original Shoppers story of how I ended up in Manchester. I grew up in Waltham, Mass. Very similar town to Manchester. And we have had a Shoppers down there since 1937. So it's on the fourth generation now. I used to run nightclubs in Boston. That world just got a little too crazy for me. So I left and I started bartending at one of the sister restaurants for Shoppers in Waltham. Ultimately, we sold that to come up here because the York family and the LaCava family, who was the Shoppers family, had a connection through Bentley. And it was a running joke that they would open a Shoppers where Indian Head Athletics was when Don finally retired. And the joke became reality in 2018, 2019. And then July 1 of 2019, they asked me if I want to come up and start this whole project. I was like, yeah, you know what? Change of scenery sounds great. And then 7 months after that, COVID was lovely, and then we just kind of fought through it, and now we're still here. We're 2 weeks out from 6 years.
I did not know that there was another Shoppers.
That's where the model for this came from. It's in the middle of a neighborhood in Waltham. It's on Moody Street, which is our dominant. It's the Elm Street of Waltham, and we have diverse restaurants there, and that's like what I always talk about, walkable cities. That strip in Waltham is the most walkable portion, and that's what I think about when I think of Elm Street. It's been there for so long. It's had 2 fires. It's expanded. We're expanding again at some point. It keeps growing and growing and growing.
So do you go back and forth between the two, or you're just here now?
First 2.5 years I did. And then it became apparent after COVID really settled down. So 2021, we kind of split ourselves up. So I'm up here mostly. I'm actually up here all the time. One of the brothers, Mike, is with me up here most of the time. And then Joey and Lauren, who are the other two in the family, are down in Waltham.
Okay. So for people that may not know about Shoppers Pub and Eatery, you're located on Lake Ave. You're at 18 Lake Ave, right across from the Snoo Arena. I mean, you're right there. Walk us through the front door and tell us what we can expect and what we can expect to order, to eat, to see. What's your specialty? So walk us through.
When you walk in the front door, the objective is to make it feel worn in. If you really walk in and look around, there's chips in the paint there. It's not perfect, which makes it feel more homey. It's all done by design. It's obviously when we hang stuff up, we don't expect it to come off, but when it started kind of falling off, and it gave it like a rustic look, not in the sense of like a rustic Italian place, but rustic in it's people come here often and it's worn in and it's it's like an apartment that's been lived in for like 3 or 4 years, and it's not perfect, but you feel at home.
It is very cool. I mean, all of your memorabilia around, and we need to mention that is an iconic location.
It is.
But continue with Shoppers. I saw it.
That's important too, and that goes into the nostalgia, and that goes across Manchester, saving the history. I think we're now a historic building as of 2 years ago.
Yeah, you have to be.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that's part of the cool part. It's people come in, they tell me where the baseball equipment was, where the lacrosse, they're like, oh, well, I came right here to buy this. And that's
I used to go there. I mean, I grew up in Manchester, so, I mean, Indian Head was very well known.
Yeah, where the bar is where the checkout counter was. Like, there's a lot of things placed in areas. And if you on purpose, and we didn't redo the floors, we sealed the floors because if you walk in, you can see where all the racks were, where they were all put into the ground. So it's something that it just kind of jogs your memory again and be like, oh, it was right here. And we would sit on a bucket over here and just talk before football games, and the stories just kind of start rolling. And then you sit down and you're like, this is it's different, but you feel like it's still Indian Head.
It was all done with a purpose.
Yeah.
That is really cool. So what is your menu like? What is
So the thing that I go with all the time is I don't want to be bad, but I don't want to be great. I just want to be good. We take a lot of care in our food. We have our secondary kitchen in the basement that we do all of our prep work. So I have 2 full kitchens. So any of the chicken that you get, we're cleaning, we're cutting, we're trimming. Any of the beef that you get, we're seasoning, we're shaping. We take a lot of pride in what we do. Our pizza is our go-to. We switched to smash burgers, which is the hottest.
Aren't they the best?
It's the hottest thing in the world.
They're so good.
And our burger sales are through the roof. And we
have not tried that over there. I'm gonna have to.
So we have one that's the Snoo Smash, but we spelled it SNOO because that's how we say it with our accent. We snow, and people call it snow, and people just mess it up all the time. But that's like our flagship smash burger.
Ooh.
Our own sauce, and I don't want to call it elevated pub food, but it is relatively elevated in the sense of the quality that you get. We want to be the place that our pizzas I will bite it all day long.
I watched a few of your videos. I love it. I love it. Like called Crown Town.
Yeah, I know. And they were right. Well, what? If you look at New Haven, who's the king of pizza in my mind, Modern and Sally's and Pepe all have a family relationship.
Sally's.
Yeah.
I just heard about that place. I can't believe you're mentioning that.
Valley, it's when you turn onto the street, is it Hanover there? No, Hanover's Boston. Someone will correct it, but it's Sally's and then Pepe's and then Modern. And it's 1, 2, 3, and everyone they debate on who's the best. But what happens is, if I can't get into Sally's, I'm going to try to get into Pepe's. If I can't get into Pepe's, I'm going to go to Modern. I'll get into Modern and be like, oh, that was good, but I got to try Pepe's. So now I'm going back, and I'm going back.
Doing all of them.
So
what is your pizza like? Like what? I'm like a pizzaholic.
We're thin crust, hand thrown thin crust, a little bit of sugar in the sauce.
Love that.
Low oil content in the cheese, so it's not super greasy. It's our regular cheese pizza is one of my best.
That's how you judge a pizza anyway.
Yeah.
Cheese pizza. I do that. That's really all I'll get is a cheese pizza.
We do the MPAL pizza mat thing for them. And we lose every year to Domino's because it's all the kids that judge it. And I'm like, you know what? I don't blame you. It's all right.
You know what? My husband, who had a hand in Alley Cat for a while, he was partners with my nephew. He has since sold out. But yeah, I remember that one.
Alley Cat is also good. So Alley Cat is similar. People consider us like the Papa Gino style pizza.
Yeah.
But so us and Alley Cat are very similar in the way that we're
thin and
it's not, it's a good pizza. It's not like Greek style, so it's not made in a pan. It's not overloaded with cheese. Right. But then Greek is pretty predominant up here. And then you get to what the Crown does and what like 900 Degrees does, and it's that more open flame kind of char on the crust.
Right.
So, and my thing with the Crown is I was messing with them the whole time. But all it did was I just drew more attraction to the Crown, because the way the Crown markets themselves and the way I market the Crown are completely different. And it was all a joke with like, it's it's tough because people take it too seriously.
Right.
So some of the bartenders took it way too seriously. I was like, guys, we're not going this deep. I know exactly who you're talking. Oh yeah, of course. I was like, we don't have to go this deep. It's all a joke. We did it during COVID. We did it with the Puritan, who no one knew they made pizza. So we start going back and forth, and we're fine. And they played along. After the first video I put out on a Friday, they sold out a pizza on Saturday.
Oh my gosh, how cool is that?
Yeah. So, but that's the
right.
If everyone
embrace it, embrace it, and yeah.
Yeah, and like I had Fotia like bringing me pizza. They're like, "Yeah, you think you're the best? Try this." I'm like, "Okay, all right."
You want to get in on it?
3 years ago, Alley Cat did the same thing. I don't know who it was that brought it in.
Oh, interesting.
It was late on a Thursday night. We were like wrapping up, like right in the COVID times.
It probably was my nephew, I bet.
Probably came in with a pizza. He's like, "Try this." Okay. All right.
I love it.
Cool.
I love it. That's cool.
So that I market us as the best, but the reason I do it is so that someone else will hop in and be like, "You're not the best, we're the best." And then we get a little feud building, and
that's right.
And then everyone's like, "Oh no, well, Shoppers is better. I got to go try Alley Cat. Alley Cat's better. I've never tried." And we just go back and forth.
It's all in fun. It's all in fun. And like you said, there are some people that, take it the wrong way. I mean, you must belong to New Hampshire Eats.
Oh, God.
I mean, come on.
It's hysterical.
It is so, it's so crazy.
It just makes me laugh at it.
I do the same thing. I mean, it's just like, wow.
I know I'm not serious, but the other thing is, like, people post on social media. I don't have a filter, so I'll let it fly. I let it go. It doesn't matter to me. I let it fly, and people try to come back at us. I'm like, no, I can go deep. I can dig. When I called the Crown, I was dying. But I called them on a Tuesday. And now they're never open on Tuesdays. If you walk by the Crown now, there's a sidewalk board that says now open on Tuesdays. And I like to say that it was because of me.
Because of you.
I don't want to catch flack for that, so it's all right.
I love it. For those of you that may be tuning in, listening, or watching, I am talking with Nick Carnes, owner?
No, so general manager, technically general manager of Shoppers.
Okay, general manager, Shoppers Pub and Eatery over on 18 Lake Ave. You can also check him out on the web at shoppersmht.com. Check out his social media too. It's very, very cool. So my next question, what is the correlation? Because I know when Dead Proof came around,
yep.
What is the correlation with you? Because
So Dead Proof was when they came to me the first time, and it all stemmed from Andy's Pizza Madness tournament for Inklink, the first one last year. It was all New Hampshire Eats. I'm like, oh, they're not a Manchester pizza joint. You can't ever get it. So me and Dante got connected, and we're like, hey, let's do a pop-up. And we're like, we don't even know if we can do this. We don't know if it's legal. I'm like, dude, just do it. Let's just do it. And it killed. And it was massive. And Dante kind of saw a little more hype in Manchester than he's seen before. So he started kind of putting his roots into Manchester. He ended up, there used to be 3 partners there. He ended up buying both of them out. And now he's doing something fairly big in Manchester. He can announce that himself.
Okay.
But I would like to...
I will get him. He's on my list.
Oh, yeah. Get Dante on, and I can influence that. He's doing something relatively big in Manchester, and that kind of stemmed from him seeing the constant potential. And Dante is a rock-solid entrepreneur and wants growth, and I'm lucky enough to be along for the ride with him.
Cool. I love that, you can collaborate with that and not think, oh my gosh, you're going to ruin my business, or competition only makes you better.
Yeah,
and
it's
working with people. It's just, I think that's great.
I'm very competitive at heart, but in the sense of like what Dante wants to do, or we'll get into the other half of that too. But what people want to do in Manchester, and they want to be the best, and they want to do this. It doesn't mean that you could walk in and I could be like, no, our pizza is way better than Alley Cat, and mean it. And I could be like, no, they suck. And I could dive into it. Or I could just like, no, we're better than them. And it adds to my competitive nature, but it also gives you like well, why?
Gives them room.
Yeah. And when they ask why, I just say, because we are. And like, I don't know about that. But the commerce like commerce over competition is important in the sense of growing not just myself, but everyone else. And the way that I look at it, and when we started the group, I was kind of like, hey, look, if we just all do things together and we promote downtown in general, we just get more people here. So the better you do, the better I do. The better I do, the better. And it just, that door kind of keeps revolving. Like, I get people that come in and go to dinner, and then they go to Bonfire, or they go to the Goat, or they go down to the Shaskin, or they go to the Brew. And the people that are going to the Brew at night are coming in to Shoppers for lunch for the next day, or they come in and get a beer, and then they go to Campbell's.
There's plenty around. Exactly.
But if we collectively can be like, hey, you should go try this place, or you can go here, and we start trading all these people, the collection just gets bigger.
Exactly.
And that's kind of the key to it. And after COVID, no one knew each other. And I just talked about this on another podcast, where if you look at Elm Street, all the management and ownership is new post-COVID for the most part. Like, the Moose has been there forever. Jimmy and Pat have been around forever, but they bought Bonfire from Tanner after COVID. Evolution's new. Statchwatch is new. Industry's new. Diz is new. Vallarta's new.
Yeah.
Campo, new ownership.
Diz's. I mean, there's so many.
Like, so like Judy opened like 3 months before COVID, or she opened right during. So it's like all these people are new. We had to isolate from each other because of COVID. And then after COVID was over, we all just kind of sat there, and it's like, okay, things aren't really getting better. What can we do? And we all got together, and I tried it once and it didn't work. And then I was like, all right, we'll go old school. I think people need to know that I'm not doing this for any sort of like reason. And that's what it was. We got just like a handful of people in a room. I just told everyone, I was like, hey, this isn't for me to gain power or steal all of your customers. I just want us to.
So are you segueing right now into Downtown Manchester Collaborative?
Yeah, pretty much. So the Downtown Manchester Collaborative is awesome. That's the best I can. We've had so many people come in. At the very beginning, it was a lot harder, and it was a lot more serious. And we talked about like just how to save businesses, how if collaborations would help save that. If we talked about the homeless for 3 months, it's when middle of last summer before Jay got into office, we talked about the homeless and what the appearance was. And I went and did my due diligence, and I met with our homeless director, Irina. Jay came and spoke at one of the groups. I did a 12-hour ride along with Manchester Police on a joint task force day, and I just kind of didn't leave a stone unturned. And ultimately, I was like, hey, this is our best solution to solving the issue. And having everyone in that room to be able to say that, or send an email out and give a full report, and not be biased in the sense of, I'm a first responder, like, supporter, big time. And when I did that ride along with community police, it was the most human interaction I think I've seen out of a police department. And that, for what it is as a whole, our community policing department is strictly dealing with homeless people. When I thought about it, and we went to, like, I went into the briefing for that and the roll call room and all that. There were so many guys in there. I was like, oh, this is going to suck. Like, this is going to be a really tough day. And we went out, and the first call we went to, it was like, hey, Jim, like, you were doing good. What happened? It was all more human than I thought it would be. And that was the entire set for 12 hours. And it was, everyone knows it, and the cops are walking up and they're like, hey, Sergeant so-and-so, like how you doing? It's like, good. What's going on, guys? What are we doing? You can't be here. It's, I know. Like, so it's a lot more human than I think it sees. And what we get out of stories that we read about are the bad interactions. Right? It's the same. It's just like string everywhere. So you get one bad story out of 1,000 interactions. And that's something that needed to kind of be portrayed. So I was able to do this ride along and say, hey, Yeah, people got arrested, but it's because they had warrants or because they had paraphernalia on them.
Right.
And because of the way bail works now, they were out by the time I was still on the road and I was seeing people walk in. But it was a lot more friendly than what I think the perception is. And being able to go back to the group and say, hey, like, these guys are being more human than normal with these people that they're dealing with. And I think it's something we should pay attention to. And everyone started kind of doing that. And that's why Elm Street has kind of given the support back into what our community policing division does. And you can kind of see that the homeless population is there, but it's a little more tame. And now my personal objective now is to hop onto the other side of it of, okay, if the police are doing their due diligence with these guys, how do I get these people into homes and how do we get them into facilities and treatment centers? And that's the toughest part.
Right. I think slowly it's starting.
Yeah. It's tough to look at somebody on the street and not have some sort of compassion.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
And
I go by Amoskeag Circle all the time, and there's somebody living right there in the bushes, and it's just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the question then comes into like, how can we get them out?
Right.
And who's the person to connect that person with,
right,
to get them to here, to then get them to here. So like Dave Iannuzzo is a local homeless man. He was the one that slept outside of Bunny's. He got arrested, was on a court order to go to rehab. I saw him a week ago. He is completely sober. He's reconnected with his family. He's living in Nashua.
Oh, see, that's wonderful.
That's a story.
That's a good, it's a bad beginning, but a good end.
Yeah, exactly. But that's like all these people that we see, it's how do you get them into those kind of facilities? Because if you go just to the police where they're taking people away and they're cleaning the streets up, you're missing the second half of that. And that's where I'm like, okay, well, the same thing down here. It's like, well, I want to connect with you, and Michelle connected me with you and you with me. I want to connect the police to this facility or to this director that can then connect to this.
Yeah.
So it's trying to connect a lot of dots here.
Right.
Which is it's fun for me. It's a puzzle. I'm not saying the issue is fun.
Right.
But trying to help solve a puzzle like that it's challenging, but it's rewarding.
So Downtown Manchester Collaborative is a collaborative of businesses and just trying to make Manchester better.
Yeah, we're at 126 people.
Wow. Well, I want to be added to that.
You're added to it.
I heard about it.
The Crown's added to it. They're in. So
do you send emails? Is that what you do?
Yeah, we do one meeting at the end of the month. We switch the location. We don't want the hype from it. I only did one article ever. And now that we're past all of the important stuff and we kind of leave it open for like a peer-to-peer networking kind of support group.
Yeah.
Just in case someone's having some issues, because it's out of 120 people, somebody's gonna.
Where do you meet?
And we rotated. We flipped through. So we've done the arena, we've done Shoppers, we're doing Evolution next month. We've done Birch on Elm, we've done the Rex, we've done.
That's cool. We just go all the way around. Perfect. But I heard you're skipping July, I think, right? Because
we're skipping June.
Oh, June. Okay.
So we pushed May into the first week of June. Fish is this upcoming weekend.
Right.
Everyone goes away. The last Monday of June would be next Monday. So then we're going to push it to the end of July.
Perfect.
But we're on the cool stuff now where we're creating events. So next Friday, we do the Shop the Block event on Hanover.
Fun.
Because we support bars and restaurants all the time. And the retail stores kind of get thrown to the side. Not on purpose, but it's people go out, they want to go drink and have food. And we're trying to rebuild this kind of ecosystem of shop and eat and stay and drink and party and
right.
And we lose so much to Tuscan Village, and we lose.
What about remember when they used to close down Hanover Street wasn't it every Saturday?
Every Saturday night.
Yeah.
So
That was great.
we talked about that too, and we have to wait till the restaurant that's going in next to the Crown open.
I know them.
I do too. And their concept it's going to be something.
It is.
If they're going for it. Which I love when people just don't cut corners and gun for it.
Yeah.
You're going to get the best outcome.
Yeah. They're certainly very motivated and excited and so.
Yeah. They've got some talented people.
Novo.
Yeah. So once they open, because right now there's such a big gap between Ignite the Crown and then you get to Industries and then formerly known as City Hall Pub.
We need to talk about that next.
We will talk about that. So we're going to see what happens on Friday. So from 4 to 8, we got most of the retailers from downtown. And I think we're up to like 35 or 36.
Great. And that's happening Friday.
That's next Friday. So June 27th.
Okay.
And we're just going to let them do pop-up shops all night.
Love it.
That way you're on the street. Everyone wants to be on Hanover Street. And after Hanover Street, when Manchester Street gets developed and Amherst Street gets developed and Central Street starts getting developed, once everything else kind of takes off and it looks like Hanover Street, which the city has plans for, then we'll be in a more comfortable spot for everyone to kind of be where they are.
Right.
But it's Hanover Street. So putting these retail businesses that are in the mills and they're kind of just on the side streets on the main strip to showcase what they do and then have people say, well, where are you? Oh, I'm in the Wambach Mill.
Exactly. Get some too there.
Yeah, get some to there. So it's all, and it's marketing for them. And the Palace Theater hopped in so we could cut the cost down for the retail stores because it's a pretty penny to shut down Hanover.
Right.
So the Palace hopping in, they've done a ton of work.
Katie race over there.
Well, Peter proved that Katie has put her heart and soul into this, and I appreciate it because it has been a headache. But yeah, just being able to do something for everyone is great. And then we have the Shop the Block, and then we go to the Granite State Comic Con, which is hosted by Double Midnight Comics. And we talk about just dragging people out of the arena and dragging people out of the hotel to come further down.
Go over there. Yeah.
Yep. Further down Elm Street. So it's all about taking the events we have, expanding them, creating new ones. I'd like to get to 6. So every other month we have something.
Yeah.
And we're close.
Well, I'm sure you're well on your way.
Oh, yeah, we're on our way.
So let's now we keep mentioning City Hall Pub, which is it's no longer.
No longer.
So I believe that's your new endeavor or a new endeavor.
Yeah. So me and Dan Haggerty from Stashbox and Indian Industries, we've wanted that spot for a long time. And it finally came up. We hopped on it. It's been a little bit of a process to get it done. But as of last week, we are in and it is already changing.
And when do you think this might happen?
So we're going to flip the coffee shop to...
That's right.
Where City Hall is.
So you're going to... Okay, so what... Is there going to be a new name? Have you unveiled the new name?
The Mocha Pot is staying.
Is staying Mocha Pot.
And that's going to be the flagship.
So they're going to go where City Hall Pub was. Okay.
And we're going to rent we're just nothing overly drastic.
In the front, where Mocha Pot is now.
Yeah, so nothing up there. Where they're going, we are changing the entire feel. All the wood's coming down. We're going to add light.
It was dark.
It was very dark. But for what it was, that's what it needed to be, a dark kind of place. We want to add light. We want to make it more loungy. We want you to be able to sit on a nice leather couch and have a meeting and have a coffee. And
yeah.
The cafe style coffee shop is gone. And that it doesn't make sense in my brain. When I worked in Boston, we would get a coffee beforehand and it'd be 10 of us just hanging out in a coffee shop. And that's kind of what we're going for. We're going to change the hours. Right now it's 7 to 2. We're going to go from 6 to 6.
Wow.
And eventually we'll go from 6 to 8.
Perfect.
Because people love coffee.
They do. People love their coffee.
Yep.
Lots of coffee places.
Lots of coffee places, which isn't bad. We go right back into the commerce over competition. It's people love coffee. People love different.
And they're all different. They really are. I mean, there are, my brother's a big coffee person. And, it's different from place to place for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And it's all about it's different feels. You can go to Proba in the back of the bookery. You can come here and go to William & Sons. You can soon. Sorry, not now. Soon. You can
very soon.
Yeah, you can go to the Works now. They just opened 900 Cafe in the basement of the
the 900 Hill Floor City Hall. Yeah.
NXT Coffees all the way down.
Yeah.
On the corner of Bridge and Elm. So there's plenty of coffee spots that are opening up.
Yeah.
Hometown. It's been there forever. Not forever, but been there longer than most.
Yep.
There's always a call for coffee. There's always a call for later coffee. So those,
true.
You get the people, all the bar industry people that are going into their shift at 4:00 and they can't.
And anybody need their caffeine.
Exactly. So it'll all correlate.
Yeah. So what's going to go in front where Mocha Pot is now?
So we're gonna do a full non-alcoholic bar.
Oh, a mocktail bar. That's right. I did hear that. That is big right now.
Yeah. I don't drink. I'm not addicted to it. I just get super violent. I'll have one and then it'll turn into 10 and then I'll just try to fight everybody. So I stopped doing that for a while.
Well, good for you for recognizing that. And, good.
No, the market behind it is huge.
It is.
It's an untouched market up here.
It is.
Naturally, there's a place in Nashville that just opened. We were gonna be the first. There's a place in Nashville that just opened that does a blend of things. They're an art collective with coffee, with mocktails, so they're kind of, we're going strictly for the mocktail game, but it's not like we're not putting 3 juices in a glass and saying, here you go. It's going to be an elevated style of mocktail where we're going to get some sourcing on products that I love that make good mocktails.
No.
Then we'll do some heavy apps, shareable kind of food. The outside is what's gonna, I think, bring that place to life. I'm gonna do flowers and peacher lighting and that's for Mocha Pot and for
Barry.
So City Hall Pub and Mocha Pot, I want to do flower boxes all the way down.
So when do you think that might happen? The mocktail.
Tentative date is going. It really depends on what it looks like when we open the floor up. That's gonna be it.
And you start doing stuff like that, you can be surprised. And
our tentative dates are August 1st for Mocha Pot going to City Hall Pub, and we would love to say September for the other side, but I'll say at least October.
That's still not far away, So we're gonna blink and it's gonna be here. So that is really great stuff. Now, there was another thing I heard. Harpoon? What do you have to do at Harpoon?
So I have City Club Golf that is in the Queen City Center where Harpoon is also going. But it's just naturally my knowledge of what Harpoon looks like and what they're going to end up doing is pretty broad. Harpoon is, let's see, what are they at inside? They're at like 175 seats inside, 86 outside on their patio. But it's when the hardscape is all finished outside, which has been an issue.
I know.
They're saying
they're going to be opening soon, but it doesn't look like that outside.
It goes into what the permitting process is in the city, right. And it is a mess. But we're also working on trying to come up with a solution for that. Harpoon it all depends on what doors they can use for access. They are gunning for Thursday. It's been pushed back 3 times. They are gunning for Thursday. Their staff is trained, ready to go.
Well, that's exciting.
It's very exciting.
Yeah.
That's a big thing to come into the city. And once that space is done outside and all the landscaping's put in, it's going to be a legit community center where we want to have people like Dead Proof come up and set up outside, and we want to throw these festivals, or like we want to plan a big Oktoberfest.
Fun.
Take like the retailers and put them out there and put a stage out.
We used to do you remember? Well, you probably don't remember when we used to do Riverfest, or you must hear people talk to you about that in Arms Park in front of Cotton.
When was the last time they did that?
Oh, it was years ago. Years and years. But it was like the thing. It was really cool. People, loved it.
Yeah, and COVID killed a lot of it.
It did. It totally did.
But now this is where in town used to run all that kind of stuff, and all these groups were all around to run it. Everything kind of folded in COVID, and that's back to the collaborative, is where it's like, okay, let's start generating events here. Let's get people downtown, and if people have events, let's help them grow it. Let's just continue to keep this ball rolling, because we can't stop.
You have your hands in a lot of things, Nick.
Yeah, I'm spread out, but it's fun.
Yeah, well, it keeps you going, and look at Manchester, how far it's come, and
That's the if I stop, everyone else kind of stops. It's like if I keep going, everyone else can keep going. And when I started this, I was told multiple times, it's like, good for you. I don't want to do it. Good for you.
I used to do, we used to do kind of a little collaborative like that. It was on a smaller scale, but it was called New Hampshire Eats. We used to meet up here in the, in our conference. We have the Red Arrow corporate office upstairs, and so kind of the same idea, but it was more geared restaurants, in the area. But
and that's the restaurants have gotten all of the love, and it's not bad. You're not bad at all.
No, but like you said, you're bringing light to these retail places, and the ones that are off the beaten path, like trying to get people to know, hey, like you said, where are you from? I'm over there. Oh my gosh, got to go check them out.
And it's just trying to connect them, the gaps in between them, because the more, and we always say, like, you can just move downtown. You can move your shop downtown. So we could do that, or we can just fill the gaps along the way. So the Harpoon project, the Queen City Center project, I have City Club Golf in there, Harpoon's in there, Ashley moved Bar Life down there, Clyde for Clyde's Cupcakes is opening a wine dessert bar in there, and then Ornate Beauty Studio is opening up there.
So cool.
So it's a very well-rounded community center, and now people are going to go there, and now if something went into the mill yard that attracted you, now the connection is there to continue the flow down into the mill yard. So that whole at the bottom of Pleasant Street, where you can walk down to the mill yard, is all going to get redone to try and entice people to go down.
That's cool.
And that's the key to a lot of this, is just keep the flow of people moving between places. And then we expand it out of just elm, from its bridge, granite, elm.
Yep.
And then the more,
it'll, like you said, it's just going to flow them right down.
Exactly.
Very cool. I think I checked off all of my everything that I wanted to bring up with you. Do you have anything else you want to let us know, Nick? This has been really, I'm so glad to meet you finally, and I'm glad to, I can't wait for the Downtown Manchester Collaborative so I can have a part in it too. I'm excited about.
So I just have to meet that too. We need the knowledge. That's why Judy Window is my rock when it comes to knowledge of what this way has been. Exactly.
And she's doing an amazing job.
Yes. You want to talk about having your hands in everything? Judy's your girl. She's all over it.
Cool.
But the only thing I want to say is just keep shopping local and shop in downtown or some South Willow Street. It's just shop in Manchester. Stop going to Tuscan Village and spending your money. We're trying to create that environment here.
And plus, the traffic is so bad at Tuscan Village.
Oh, it's terrible.
It's horrible. Those thingies, like, oh my gosh. Well, Nick, it was a pleasure meeting you. Thank you so much. So those of you, if you're listening, you're going to know where to find us. We're kind of in the beginning stages of this podcast, but we definitely will be on different platforms. So thank you so much. And I can't wait to get back in touch with you.
Yeah, thanks.
Have a great day.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.